Okay, so got the EGR valve replaced, got the PCV valve replaced. When I took that out, there was no O-ring gaskets, so I put a screwdriver, put my finger around, like my pinky down in there, couldn't feel any. So I'm hoping that they're not like in the head. Hopefully not. So started the engine back up. Seems to be running okay, but it's still shaky. So I looked at the motor mount and look at this. Let me zoom in here. You can see how just destroyed that is. Oh yeah, look, I can just, yep, there's the motor mount, parts of it. So I'm gonna replace those as well. And I think that'll help with the engine shakiness, especially on startup, because on startup this thing shakes like a mofo. But that probably could be a reason why. So I'll replace those. Probably replace that one too, and see how it does at that point. But yeah, that one there's definitely gone. So the bank one upper and lower, which like the one before the cat and after the cat are bad, and the bank two before the cat is bad. So I ordered those three, so I'm going to be replacing those three as well. You can see the new ignition coils there. I cleaned this up around here, you could tell, because it's like the only clean part of this engine. But that's where the PCV valve was, and there was a little bit of oil there. So I'm thinking maybe it was leaking, maybe it's a bad valve. And then I'm probably going to replace motor mounts, that one, this front one, and the side one, just because it is a little shaky on startup. But hopefully we can get this thing cleaned up and going here. Gonna do, you know, oil, transmission fluid, air filter, cabin filter, oil filter, power steering fluid, since I got extra of that. Gonna just take care of all that stuff, get this thing going good, and running good, and then I'll kind of start on other stuff. Right there, you can see where it connects, and that was just a huge pain to get to here. Tight space, but I managed to get it. And then I don't know if you could see. Let me see here. That hole right there. Boop. That's the top one I'm replacing for bank one. Upstream, I just replaced the downstream, and then I've got bank two upstream to replace. Those should be here today. So I went ahead and took the old ones out. Just waiting on those. So I got the back O2 sensor replaced, wrapped it in Tessa tape, ran back up. I ended up getting rid of the bracket that like sits right in here to hold this wire, because the wire wouldn't fit because I put Tessa tape around it, but also because that thing, there's two things to hold it broke on me, the plastic pieces. So that one was definitely a pain. Now so I wanted to change the oil, so I heated the car up, but literally not even a quart came out of this thing. And you can see it's like still draining, but nothing, like there's nothing in there. So that's probably the reason, and I'm hoping that nothing internally bad happened running it for 10 minutes like that, and even driving it home with like no oil on it. So I guess we'll see. I'm gonna try to find like an additive to put in there with the oil to maybe clean some stuff up or help it out, and then refill it. I got some Mobil 1. So I just added the engine flush with new oil, and I got like a cheap Fram filter and full synthetic Fram oil just because it was cheap. Just because with that flush, when you add it, you run the car for a few minutes at idle, and then you have to drain it all. So I didn't want to waste money on the Mobil stuff. So I'm letting it run right now for about 10 minutes. The engine is a little shaky still, but it's not like it was, and it's not up and down on idle. The idle's been really smooth, so I'm thinking that lack of oil was probably one of the issues. But I'm hoping this flush can kind of clean out the system a little bit. I don't really know. I might flush it a couple times, but we'll see. I'm hoping that there was no damage done to the motor, because it literally, guys, like, that's how much oil was in there. You can barely see it. I don't even think it was a quart of oil, and this is supposed to have 4.6 quarts. So I'm hoping that this flush can do its job, kind of clean some stuff out. We'll see what the oil looks like when I drain it. But I'm hoping that I can just get this thing running smoother again. Maybe do a fuel injector cleaner. I might just end up replacing the injectors just because I don't think they're too expensive. So we'll see how this goes. Hopefully there's no damage to the motor. That's my main concern, internal damage. Well, I just let the engine warm up and it was shaking, and I'll show you a video right now. All right, guys, so I've got the Unorthodox Racing Underdrive, lightweight Underdrive pulley here. You can see CU6141. See the logo there. So I'm gonna weigh it on my scale and compare it to the factory one. So we're at 9.7 ounces. All right, guys, so we're gonna do the stock pulley here. Let's get this thing out of here and see how much it weighs. So 126 ounces. So 7 pounds, 14.5 ounces. So basically a 7 pound savings just on the crankshaft pulley. All right, guys, so I got the Clutchmasters lightweight flywheel here, and I'm leaving the little plastic on just because it's holding those little protectors. We're gonna set this guy on the scale. 14 pounds, 9 ounces. So let's see what the stock one weighs. All right, so got the stock flywheel on there. 28 pounds, 13 ounces, so almost 29 pounds. So that's a 14-pound difference on that, plus a 7-pound difference on the underdrive pulley. So you're looking at 21 pounds of weight off of the crankshaft. So that's going to equate to definitely a lot faster revs, a lot more power. And just starting the engine up, it starts up so much quickly and faster just because of all that, you know, you got 21 less pounds of weight. I do have the car back now, guys. So you're looking at the J35A6 motor. Yes, I did say J35A6 motor. So long story short, guys, I could not figure out why it was shaking. I did everything I could. Took it in to the shop that's near my house, and it ended up being that it had jump timing. But not only that, the fuel injectors were bad. But not only that, the rear head had valves that were bent. So the amount of money it cost to replace the head and like buy a new head and have it replaced was pretty much the equivalent of putting in a new motor. So I was like, hell, I'll just J35 swap this thing. And so that's what I did. I found a motor out of a 2005 Honda Odyssey, and it only had 120,000 miles on it. Got it for $1,000. Had it shipped to the shop. He put all the new stuff that I had bought, so injectors, spark plugs, coils, PCV valve, EGR valve, the whole timing belt kit, timing belt, the underdrive pulley, accessory belt, O2, like everything. He swapped that over to the J35, and we got new valve cover gaskets, power steering hoses, all that stuff, and got it in here. So that's why it's got a J35 now. I swapped over the 3.2 intake manifold there, and it's got the coils. I got the water pump kit with accessory belt, and then if you can kind of see it down there, the underdrive pulley's on. A ton of work has gone into this. It's been in the shop for a month. I replaced the clutch, the flywheel, ignition coils are newer, new spark plugs, new valve cover gaskets, new EGR valve, new PCV valve, all new motor mounts, new transmission mounts as well, which you can't see from here, but I got the same ones from Innovative Mounts. I got 2 new transmission mounts. I got the P2R Racing radiator hoses, all new coolant, new O2 sensors like from previous when I installed those. Just so much stuff, guys. I'll put a list in the description of everything I've done. New battery, obviously. New clutch slave cylinder and master cylinder. Just a ton of stuff, and the motor runs great now. I mean, it's super smooth. Transmission's good. The clutch is a little tricky because it doesn't grab until the pedal's almost fully out. And the motor revs so high and quick that it's kind of hard to get used to compared to what it was like. But the motor's done for now, guys. So motor and transmission, everything's pretty much new. And now we're going to start on the exterior. So stay tuned for those episodes. But the motor episode is officially done, and we're good to go on it.